And one of the lessons in the course, takes this idea of customer complaints as a source of data for improving operations. So if you, in your customer service team, are able to gather the complaints and analyze them, you might, for example, see that all the deliveries on Tuesday mornings in a certain area are always late, for example. And when you look at that pattern, and you could apply some data science and analytics techniques, you could then look for root causes and do root cause analysis for why cake deliveries are always late on a Tuesday morning in a certain area. And for me, that's another important role for a customer service team to play. And when you're going into a customer service career, to think of that role not just in dealing with customers on the front end of the business, but also in the operational aspects to help improve and prevent customer failures in future. Was that something that you had some experience with in the cake company or elsewhere, Kritika?
Yeah, so I actually did have that experience. So when you think like what are customer service executives doing, right? They are the front end. They're the first people to conversate with your customers after they've like either purchased a product or a service, right? We're the first people talking to them, right? We're their first point of contact. So any feedback that you can get about, like a company can get about their product, is best from their customer service team, because we are the one who's in interaction with your entire market, like with your entire audience who's purchasing your services, right? So I did actually go through a lot of implementations. Like we did change a lot of things over time with the last company that I was working in. Like there was a cake getting smashed. How can we prevent the cake from getting smashed? Like what can we do? What are the steps that we can take? So then we did actually start, like we did realize that, okay, it's the weather that can affect it too. Like sometimes it's summer, sometimes it's a better weather. So in summers, there are more damages. So what do we do in summers? We actually increase more protections. Like we have dowels. We had dowels put in the cake throughout the cake so that the cake does not get, the cake does not move from its place or like does not get smashed anymore. And in summers, we started putting more ice packaging with it, realizing that, okay, it's summers now and the cakes are melting. The cakes are breaking because they're melting. So that's how we did actually go ahead and implement like so many new things. We changed our entire packaging system. We made our packaging more stronger. Like we actually used like more protective layers of packaging. And we had like 4 or 5 of them. And like there's a box inside a box. So, and you have towels, put like 4 or 5 towels put between a cake so that the cake does not move and it stays in its place. So we did implement all of these, but it does not happen overnight as well. We do need to realize that like any feedback that comes in, it does take time to implement it. So maybe like 2 weeks, I think, tops. And we had lesser complaints once we started implementing all of the changes that we did decide to go ahead and make.
And I think that's so important because, customer service people often feel like the company puts them out to deal with the customers and doesn't make the changes to reduce the complaints to make their lives easier. And I think customer service careers can be quite tough. And there's a lot of attrition in those roles and in customer-facing teams like call centers and bank branches and front of house, till points, checkouts, etc. But if you see your role as being able to improve the overall operation of the business, then you're actually constantly gathering data and looking for ways to improve the organization and contribute to reducing those number of complaints to make your own life a bit easier.